Hi, this is Sebastian,
And this is Juan.
and with us is the third part of the Customer Journey Mapping mini series. Today's topics include customer experience breakdown and stakeholders team ups for creating effective customer journey maps. Get ready and buckle up.
How do you optimize your customer's journey, drive demand, reduce churn rate, increase retention, and generate growth? Are some of the questions marketers continuously ask.
Welcome to the Customer XP Crew Weekly Podcast, where we discuss marketing strategies, tactics, ideas, experiences, invite guests and experts to help you with your marketing growth by being customer-centric. And now to this episode.
Hello, guys, and welcome to another episode of the Customer XP Crew, your weekly podcast about everything customer centric. Customer Journey Mapping Part 3 is here. And today we'll be breaking down the customer experience and how teaming up with other stakeholders and team members can create effective customer journey maps. With us today is Juan Gomez, Marketing Director and Industry Expert. Juan, how are you?
Hey Sebastian, long time no see.
Good to see you.
Yep. So again, we're talking about in this series of episodes about customer journey mapping and how customers really come together and how entities should embrace their customers throughout the whole journey, just not just from their buyer's journey, but also through their customer experience. And today we're gonna focus obviously on that part of customer experience, which is beyond the buyer's journey. So after purchase, most that's what we're gonna be focusing on. Tell us about an experience you have had from being a like having a really good experience with a company. Do you have any that like sprouts to your mind?
Yeah, I have always loved like the purchase experiences where at any point or at any stage, I never feel like I'm being sold. Even though I end up buying something or acquiring a service, because obviously the main goal of any business is to generate a profit, but like being authentic is something that it really conveys in your brand message. So whenever your experience feels truly authentic, you as a customer, you really feel that when, as we have mentioned on previous episodes, when you become part of a community because you felt compelled to, because you believed in the true essence of it. Um, I have loved, for instance, when I purchased, I don't know, like let's say a tool, like maybe a proofreading tool, and they send you like a personal invite from a newsletter, but that newsletter doesn't feel like it's robotic written or automatized, but maybe it's the owner of the company and it took the time and dedication to write you to thank you for purchasing the service and gives you something extra that it doesn't have to be like an extra item or a good, but it can be like an extra something, anything that becomes part of the experience. Because as we talked about on our previous episode where we finish discussing pain points, is precisely through the customer experience where you can tackle or address all of those pain points, but always having in mind how can I go beyond this
Mhm.
experience so my customer really feels like he or she is being taken care of.
Yeah, correct. Well, as we said, today we're focusing on customer experience. So it's when you actually become a customer, it's beyond being now you're becoming a paid customer and or you're using their app or whatever it is, but you're using that product at the end of the day, you're using that service. And the buyer's journey obviously focuses more on the before, how they catches the attention, how it brings you and reels you in into a sales transaction. And then from a sales transaction, a lot of companies do an okay to decent job from a buyer's journey, but where they have to specialize the most is on their customer experience. Because once you have a customer, you want to keep them and bring more lifetime value out of that customer, because that's gonna bring you obviously more profit into your company, and it's gonna make you also generate referrals, have more loyalty. It's gonna generate advocates. So this is very crucial. The customer experience is super crucial for any company, because even if you have a great buyer's journey and you bring in, I don't know, 1,000 customers a month, but 900 leave, it's like you're not growing as at the rate that you should be. So all those efforts have to pay their dividends, and for you to keep those customers, you need to have a well thought out experience, a really good customer experience.
Yeah. Sometimes people wonder like where does exactly the customer experience begin and where does it finish? And I think the general answer is everything. Like by
Mhm.
definition, when you hear us talk about customer experience is the experience of your brand or your business as a whole. It's every contact, every interaction that a customer has when he's dealing or interacting with your business or brand online. It includes all the touch points, any interaction, everything that happens between the customer and your business through digital channels, being the website, the mobile app, the social media, email, chatbot, etc. All of that caters to customer experience.
Correct. Yes. The thing is that for us to really understand this, everything like that, as you said, is customer experience. But just to make a really good division between we separate buyer's journey from customer experience, because that's where we really want to know. Okay, now they became a customer, and a lot of them, they just become a customer. They're sending an invoice, they pay, and that's it. If you're selling products, that's it. But you should add more value. If you're a SaaS company or a technology, then obviously they're using your software continuously. So you have to provide value along the way in order for that customer to stay. And you have to really have some metrics into surveys or mapping tools, heat mapping, customer mapping tools that allow you to really know how they're dealing with your technology or how they're dealing with your product, in order for you to know what's working and what's not working. So I'm going to point out here some of the things that I kind of think are very, very important and crucial for
Mhm.
you to implement within your company. And one of them is, obviously you want to have defined your customer journey, and by mapping all those points, because that we covered in the previous episodes, is by mapping all these points and you really having all these touch points. You want to gather customer data at every single touch point. And obviously you want to also have some journeys, I'm sorry, surveys, in order to understand this customer journey and how are they interacting. So you might want to ask open-ended questions, while you're gathering feedback, in order to understand how is the customer experiencing their journey. And you can do this and really know what's happening, what's going in their mind, what's working, what can be made easier, if you can provide another set of tools, or if you can get rid of other ones to make the the process more streamlined. And you can identify what are the pain points that they are having with your product or service, and you then develop a solution. So again, you go through your customer journey, you go through each and one of the interaction points, you gather that customer feedback. Then you identify the new pain points from these touch points in particular. You develop a solution. Then you prioritize which solutions you want to take care about this particular touch points that you're going to enhance, and that might also require other resources like technology or personnel or whatever it is in order for you to solve that pain point at that touch point. Or you can redirect people or reorganize your group or your team in order to cater into that solution. And once you start doing that, then you start implementing these solutions, and you're going to monitor its effectiveness. You're going to continuously collect feedback from your customers to ensure that this new improved way of doing business was the correct one, in order for you to know that that touch point was actually um, benchmark. Let's say it's it's better than it was before, and it's really adding value. And you want to continuously improve, so you don't want to stop just like, okay, we fixed this, that's it, would stop. No, we want to continue to monitor the customer journey and the customer experience in order to improve the overall customer experience across the whole journey. So you want to obviously continuously have um, feedback from your customers and analyze which pain points and opportunities might be coming. So this will really give you the overall edge as to how to improve your customer experience.
We might say so we might say that post purchase, like some of the most important key elements that come into play when talking about customer experience are the design, and I mean by the whole design of your product and how does it work, the usability, personalization, customer support is crucial. Now that you were talking about running surveys and every interaction that you can have with your customer where you can receive some actual valuable feedback is also very important.
Absolutely, everything that the customer touches is part of it. So design, it is design useful, your user interface, your user experience within the app, or if you have a product, like, does it open correctly, does it close correctly,
Yeah.
does it function, and it provides the solution for whatever task they're doing. So you really need to know what is it that you're good at and how this product or service is performing up to the expectations, or if not above the expectations of the customer, for you to really have and provide a really good customer experience. Not it's not just the design, like you said, it's also the customer support. Let's say they have a questions, do you have content for them, I don't know, via YouTube with explaining how to do something or how to use your product? Do you have a community where people are talking about your product and how they solve, or and you have moderators obviously teaching? So there's all sorts of stuff that you can be doing in order to enhance that experience from your customers, and pretty much create a tribe. You want to create a tribe. You want to create a a company that really listens to the people and holds them together really closely, even if it's a large number of customers, but that they feel that you're taking care of that particular individual. It's not just an invoice number.
And how would you say is the most efficient way to map out all of these stages?
There's tools that we can use in order to do this. We use Miro because it's a really good whiteboard tool that allows us to create big documents where you can upload all types of media files and just drop them, and you just create this whole map or this customer journey where you can analyze every single point of interaction and change the dynamics between it, so that when you improve a process, it's obviously going to affect the next process. So then, and then, sorry, the next step in the process. So that's going to give you a better overall experience. So you have to take into account everything around it, like the preceding action, the actual action, and the next touch point. So everything generates an experience, and you have to obviously map out everything. You can take pictures, you can take videos, you can have the customer data there, um, for you to analyze internally and obviously continuously optimize this.
and and I also believe it's important that when you map out all of the stages of your current customer experience, first of all, you think, okay, I'm going to map out the current experience, but also thinking ahead and map out your future state customer experience journey. Why? Because after all, after you make some improvements or you or do some switching and tweaking, maybe the experience is going to take a slightly different shape. So it's also important that you always stay ahead of your game and map out the possible interactions and the way that your customers are going to behave with your
Mm-hmm.
product or service once it's improved.
Yeah, this leads us into collaboration. So collaboration,
Exactly.
it's all about coming together, because not one single company does everything by themselves. There's other people along the way that provide that support. Even if you're a solopreneur, you need other vendors like their software in order to provide your experience. So what you need to know is to identify which are your stakeholders in order in order to really create an effective customer journey and a really good customer experience. You need to know which are the teams involved and who are the stakeholders. So the question might be, how do you collaborate with other teams and create a customer a really effective customer journey map? And you do that by identifying the stakeholders. This includes the customer support team, sales, marketing, product, operations. So it includes the whole company, and even vendors. Then you're gonna define what are the roles of each of these stakeholders.
Mhm.
And when you're mapping this out, you're gonna know which are the at different stages. How are they behaving? What is their input? So how is sales doing, for example, from a buyer's perspective? How is marketing doing from a buyer's perspective? How are they getting their attention once they become a customer? How is the sales representative guiding them to the account executive, if your company has one, or if you're a smaller team, then maybe the sales rep is also the account executive, and it's also taking care of the customer onto the next step. So you want to really know what are the roles and the responsibilities across each and one of these touch points, so that your team really knows how to behave and how to act and how to do it. By clarifying and not really knowing what they're responsible, you can really create also KPIs that you can capture customer feedback, get other data along the way, and develop further solutions so you can enhance your company's product and experience and also generate more revenue. So all of this, by aligning everybody together, then you're going to create a really cohesive customer journey. And by sharing all this customer journey between the team within a well documented format, this is going to let everybody know and within the organization how it plays out, how from a customer, how they coming in, how they become a customer, who's responsible for what happens next. And this really creates a, it's kind of like a, I don't want to call it a manual, but it really kind of is, where it's like a super gigantic manual where you really know where you are at, and it's like a map on where is to go next, along like a guide. So it's like a document that brings everything together, and it lets you know at which stage you are and how to proceed to, in order for your company to provide that best experience. Obviously, you as a team, you have, if there's touch points that you are improving from a customer experience or from a buyer's perspective, um, you want to really know what solutions you are creating, and you can brainstorm across your teams. Obviously, your sales team is going to have a different input than your marketing team, and your customer support team might give you another opinion, and they're all valid. You just need to bring them together so that you can create the best experience for your customer. At the end of the day, that's what matters the most. And from this, you can just continuously improve as you work on solutions from each touch point. And that's how really collaboration gets into play. And you might use different tools in order for to do collaboration. You might want to use a project management tool, or I don't know what kind of other software you might want to do, but the idea is to also have technology tools that allow collaboration to happen and communication to happen across teams so that you offer the best experience possible.
I believe, just to complement, I believe that one of the mistakes or maybe the wrong approach is when people start their operation, uh, focusing too much on assigning roles and responsibilities. And what do I mean by that? Now, I was thinking about this now that you mentioned um, identifying your key stakeholders and what can they do, and maybe stop looking at it or the way of strengths and weaknesses, because what can be a weakness for for a team member at some point in some stage, it could be a strength in another project or possibility. So more than that is identify who are your team members and who are your stakeholders, what can they do, what they cannot do, and thinking all of those capabilities in mind, then you can start and start aligning your team. But that's why I believe it's really important that from day one you get to share the vision of your company, and most importantly the goals and objectives with everyone, so everyone
Mm-hmm.
can be laser focused on one thing, but it's also up to collaboration if needed.
Yeah. Again, as a company, it's a well thought out process that creates an experience. So you want to always be improving and optimizing that process in order for your customers to have it, and really knowing who are those team members and how they get along and how can you make it more cohesive. It's really going to improve your customer experience. So by all means, this is one of the things companies really forget, because they just want their customers to come in, purchase, and then they kind of, okay, next customer that comes in,
Yes.
and they stop paying attention to their current customers. So we really want to create a cohesive journey that comprehends from the buyer stage until they become your customer, and how you keep them reeled in your company, providing value across the whole journey. So you can augment lifetime value. You can augment obviously loyalty, all these kind of good things because they're gonna bring you referrals, they're gonna bring you advocacy, you're gonna have better reviews on on platforms, on review platforms like Google Reviews, or if you're a software like Capterra or whatever other source of reviews that you might want, these boards that allow, or if you go to Reddit and they're talking about your product or service. So all these kind of things you want to sprout and like incentivate from within your company and your organization, because you really guys provide a great job, and that's what it's about. It's like they read your mind or you feel appreciated, and that's the kind of feeling customers want, not just to be taken care of when it's at the beginning. It's like, I don't know, kind of funny here, an analogy, but it's like kind of when you're dating a girl or a partner or whatever it is, and you show up great to the first few dates, but then they become your partner or your significant other, and then you stop taking care of them because now you accomplish what you wanted, which was
Exactly.
bringing you in and having that relationship. Now that you have the relationship, you stop caring and you just kind of
Yes.
do a
You have to
half-assed
nurture it.
job. Exactly. So you have to nurture that relationship. The same thing happens with customers,
Exactly.
and that's what companies kind of forget sometimes. And really great companies do this very well.
Fantastic. And that's a wrap. Juan, thank you so much. It was very insightful. To all of our audience, thank you so much. Also, guys, please remember that you can find us on the hottest podcast platforms like Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts. This was part three of this fantastic mini series centered around customer journey mapping and how can it help to improve your business operations and customer journey overall. Uh, Next week is the final chapter, part four. You don't want to miss that. So stay tuned and we'll see you there. Thanks again and bye bye.
Goodbye.